Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're asking you to step back in time with us. We're going to explore, really dig into a pivotal year in American history, 1956.
Right, it's one of those years that maybe doesn't jump out immediately, but when you look closer.
Exactly. It often gets overshadowed, but it feels like it was this hidden blueprint, a time when all these different forces were sort of quietly converging.
Laying groundwork.
Yeah, groundwork for so much of the technological landscapes we see today. So our mission, using the sources you shared, is to unpack those forces: economic, social, cultural, tech. Okay, let's get into it.
It really is a fascinating snapshot, 1956. Just buzzing with the dynamic change, this kind of cultural fusion. And what's striking, I think, is how many threads from back then still resonate.
That's what we want to pull out, right?
Precisely. Those less obvious nuggets of knowledge, those insights, not just what happened, but really get at why it mattered.
Okay, so let's start with the economy, because 1956, it was definitely a time of pretty robust post-war prosperity, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The figures really paint a picture.
They do. Looking at these numbers, it makes you pause. Average household income, around $4,500.
$4,500.
Now, imagine walking into a dealership. A brand new car, maybe a Chevy Bel Air, Ford Fairlane, about $2,400.
Makes car ownership seem suddenly very possible for a lot more people.
Totally, and that really kicked the whole automobile culture into high gear.
And houses?
Right, new homes, especially in those new suburbs popping up everywhere. Average cost, around $24,000.
$24,000. Still a huge amount, obviously, but achievable for many.
Yeah, and if you were renting, say, in the city, pretty affordable. Sources say about $112 a month.
Which kept cities vibrant too, in a way.
True, and groceries. Weekly shop for a family of 4, roughly $55.
So if you step back and look at those numbers.
Yeah, what's the bigger picture there?
Well, on the surface, it's prosperity, right? Disposable income.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting because this era kind of saw the quiet beginnings of our modern consumer debt culture.
Ah, okay. How so?
That $24,000 house, while maybe affordable month to month, was a massive long-term commitment. Decades of payments. That changes how families think about financial security,
Right, it locks you in a way.
Exactly. And that affordability plus the desire for space. Well, that's the fuel for the huge suburban expansion that literally reshaped communities.
So it's not just individual wealth, it's societal shifts.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Shifting structures, encouraging this new level of consumerism, buying into the dream.
That's a really interesting link between, the good times and maybe the seeds of future financial patterns. But even with this economic boom happening, there was this powerful undercurrent, right? Social, political change really bubbling up.
Definitely. 1956 was a turning point for some really defining issues.
The civil rights movement, for one, was gaining serious momentum. You had the formation of the National Freedom Party.
Right, a really key grassroots organization focused on voting rights, challenging segregation.
And leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., their influence was just growing and growing, that push for equality intensifying.
Absolutely. And then you layer on the international scene.
Yeah, big headlines there too. The Suez Crisis.
A major international flashpoint. Control of the canal, huge geopolitical implications.
And France testing its first nuclear weapon.
Adding to the Cold War tension, definitely.
But back home, domestically, the sources mention the continued spread of residential segregation.
A really persistent issue.
And the Supreme Court keeping its focus on civil rights cases. It's striking how these global things and these domestic struggles were, I guess, happening all at once.
They really intertwined.
Right.
While the world's eyes might be on Suez, inside the U.S., that fight for civil rights was laying absolutely crucial groundwork.
So the sources suggest these weren't separate tracks.
Not at all. They paint a picture of threads in a larger tapestry. These events, global and domestic, were setting the stage for really profound shifts later on.
And it shows how, even with those external pressures,
those internal societal tensions were hitting a kind of boiling point, sparking legal challenges, systemic challenges that would define the next couple of decades. And, we're just relaying what the sources convey here, not endorsing any specific viewpoint within them.
Right, understood. Okay, so while all that was going on politically, socially, the cultural pulse of America in 56 sounds like it was absolutely electric.
It was. Music, television, really capturing the nation's heart, but in fascinatingly different ways.
Yeah, think about this. #1 song, Elvis Presley, Heartbreak Hotel.
Bam. the king of rock and roll arrives.
Totally solidified his status. And it just resonated, didn't it? Especially with young people looking for something new.
A whole new sound, a whole new attitude.
But then you look at the small screen, #1 TV show, still reigning supreme, I Love Lucy.
Still huge. That humor, those relatable characters, it was just part of the furniture, culturally speaking.
So how do you square those two, Elvis and Lucy?
Well, that's what's so insightful, right? They reflect these sort of dual desires of the era. Heartbreak Hotel isn't just a song. It's like a symbol of this generational shift.
Yeah, youthful rebellion almost.
A bit of a musical tremor against that post-war conformity. But at the same time, I Love Lucy shows the incredible power TV was gaining.
Bringing people together.
A shared national experience. Families gathered around, laughing at the same thing, reinforcing maybe more traditional family ideas.
So there's a tension there.
A fascinating tension. This yearning for comfort, for the familiar, side by side with this hunger for something radically new. Media was doing both things at once, reinforcing norms and subtly challenging them.
Incredible how those two giants could define the same year. Now, while the music was rebellious, the look of 1956, the fashion, it seemed more polished, right? Almost aspirational.
Yeah, definitely a more buttoned-up aesthetic in some ways.
Men, for example, the sources say tailored suits were the thing, costing about $70.
$70.
And shirts maybe $30. It was all about looking put together, sophisticated, a certain professional look.
And for women, elegant dresses, averaging around $40, really emphasizing femininity, grace, often with nice accessories to finish the look.
Reflecting perhaps that desire for post-war stability, a kind of conformity, even while other things were shaking up.
Right.
Yeah.
But beneath that stylish surface,
wow,
some serious innovation was happening, things that would change everything.
Absolutely. Even just looking at, say, military pay, around $280 monthly mentioned in the sources, shows ongoing commitments in a tense world.
Yeah, but the inventions, game changers. 1956 saw the first commercial computer, the IBM 305 RAMAC.
RAMAC. Huge deal. I mean, physically huge, but conceptually revolutionary.
How so? What did it really do?
Before that, managing lots of information, customer records, inventory was rooms full of paper, armies of clerks.
Right.
This machine, the RAMAC, allowed basically instant access and manipulation of data stored on magnetic disks. It was a quantum leap. Transformed logistics, business, laid down fundamental ideas for the entire digital age, really. How data gets organized, accessed. Wow. Okay. And then there's something else, much smaller, but maybe just as impactful day to day.
Ah, you mean the audio cassette tape.
The cassette, invented in '56.
Yeah. Seems simple now, but it started a revolution in personal entertainment. Music became portable in a way it just hadn't been.
Paved the way for the Walkman.
And eventually, digital music players that democratized listening took it out of the living room.
So these two things, the giant computer and the tiny tape.
The implications were just profound.
Yep.
From managing massive data systems to putting your favorite songs in your pocket, they absolutely set the stage for huge future revolutions.
So, wrapping up our deep dive into 1956, it's really clear, isn't it? This was such a crucial chapter.
Undeniably.
You have this booming economy, massive cultural shifts, rock and roll shaking things up, but also this growing, vital commitment to civil rights.
All happening at once.
And these groundbreaking technologies just starting to emerge. It feels like 1956 really did lay the groundwork for so many changes in the decades that came after.
It absolutely did. And maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to consider.
Yeah.
How do those seeds planted back in 1956? You know, consumerism, the fight for civil rights, the dawn of the digital age, portable media. How do they continue to shape the world you live in right now?
That's a great question.
Reflect on it. The lasting impacts of this single, really dynamic year. The echoes are still all around us, influencing everything from how you listen to music to how your information is managed online. It's quite something.